everyone, it's Rachel here from Maker's Gonna Learn, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things that your Cricut can cut that aren't vinyl. I'm super excited about this because we have a lot of Cricut owners that think that they're limited to the basics, and you're not. You can actually get crafty with a lot of different things just by tweaking your machine a little bit here or there, if you have to tweak it at all. So we're going to run through 10 things that your Cricut can cut that are not vinyl, and if you're as excited as I am, then let's get started. First things first, I just want to let everyone know, if you have a die cutting machine and you want to take advantage of that investment and try and be the best die cutting crafter you can be, definitely consider joining Maker's Gonna Learn. It is a wonderful, exclusive die cutting community filled with over 1,000 cut files, 160 fonts. As this airs today, there's probably more, but we continue to add new things like awesome printable guides and the exclusive Facebook group that all of our members enjoy. So if you want to join a family of like-minded crafters to get creative with your die cutting machine, please click the link below and see what that's about. But anyways, guys, we're going to work through this table showing you all a couple of awesome materials your Cricut can cut. So first thing first, I want to start off with glitter cardstock. You might not think that your Cricut can cut this, but it most definitely can. And it does not have to be the Cricut brand of glitter cardstock. This cardstock right here is a little bit coarser and it's a little bit thicker. So all you have to do is turn your glitter cardstock setting up to a higher pressure. So give that more pressure and it will cut flawlessly. Do not be afraid of this beautiful cardstock that you see in your local craft store. If you want to craft with it, you totally can. So moving on is chipboard, woods, balsa wood, basswood, things like that. If you have the Cricut Maker with its adaptive tool system, and also sometimes there's little hacks you can do in your Explore Errors and Explore Error 2s to actually cut thinner woods like this as well. But for the most part, it's Cricut Maker owners that are interested in using this craft board, this chipboard. So it cuts beautifully with a knife blade and some other hacks for your other machines that you can check out. But this stuff is cheap. It's really well made. It's just like a really thick cardboard. It cuts perfectly fine. It does take a little bit longer to cut things like this, which is understandable, you know. So things like this, basswood and balsa wood, like we have a little example for you right here, is easy to cut and it cuts beautifully. It's great for home decor. So if you're looking to add a little bit of, you know, style to your home decor, that's a great way to do so. Cutting wood is a very easy thing to do with your Cricut, especially the Maker. And it has the adaptive tool system, so why not use it? You know, this machine was definitely an investment, and you guys should invest in yourselves to be better crafters for the machine that you've invested a lot of money. So moving right along, we have leather and faux leather. Now, of course, they'll be on different settings, especially if your genuine leather is really thick. But generally, try and stay away from thicker leather. Try and find a relatively thin leather like this. Again, it does not have to be Cricut brand, even though Cricut does have their own brand of basically everything we've mentioned so far. But it does not have to be Cricut brand. Just adjust your settings. And I do recommend, if you're buying it for like one project, go ahead and get an extra sheet, you know, and use it as a tester sheet. You don't want to be coming down to the wire and maybe waste some of your material because you haven't tested it on your machine. Always test new materials with your machine. It's the best way to ensure perfect crafts every time. But leather is great to work with. It's good for iron-on. It's good for little leather bracelets, personalized leather bracelets. You could do so much with leather, okay? You can even use your foil quill. If any of you foil quill nuts are out there, then you can actually foil quill onto this leather, cut it out, make a bracelet. Perfect, okay? So that's one other thing that you should not be afraid to cut with your machine. It's great, it's fun. Everyone that I have talked to and every time I have cut it, they enjoyed it and all the projects have turned out awesome, so we love that. And again, guys, another one is felt, okay? You would be surprised how often we use felt in the craft studio. We make a lot of things out of felt. We love to make felt flowers. We love to make little, let's see, a little newer project we have is an adorable little pillow for your tooth, for the tooth fairy, and we make it out of felt. It's so cute. It's over on Maker's Gonna Learn. The full tutorial is for members. If you are not a member, you can go check out some little inspiration, but be sure to check that link below to go look at all that goodness. But Felt is great, okay? You need your rotary blade with the Cricut Maker's adaptive tool system sometimes. Sometimes you can get away with your normal fine point blade or your deep cut blade. So it just depends on the type of felt that you're buying, the type of felt you need, and everything like that. Okay, so this other one I'm pretty excited about, okay guys? So like some of these, you will need your fabric grip mat, but we love to cut burlap, okay? I love cutting burlap. It's beautiful. My DIY wedding had a ton of burlap in it, and the Cricut Maker was definitely a lifesaver through the process of creating all of my own decor. But this right here is this is actually a felt placemat. So don't cut this, guys. Cut actual burlap. But we didn't have anything to show you guys that was just straight up burlap. So this is, you know what burlap looks like. It comes in a roll. You can get a big roll. But throw that on your fabric grip mat and cut it, guys. It cuts beautifully. Of course, it fringes out on the edges a little, but that, to me, is just the characteristics of burlap, and I think it's beautiful. I think its imperfections are perfect. So anyways, guys, that's a really great thing to cut with your Cricut. Don't be afraid to cut things like burlap. It always turns out really fun. Iron-On loves to stick to burlap as well. You could make a really cute project with this. So just think up some things, get inspired, and I hope you are. And another thing, guys, is a piece of craft plastic. You can use this to make stencils, reusable stencils. You can use them in a bunch of different ways, for crafting. And do not be afraid to cut these, guys, okay? You can get as thin or as thick pieces of plastic as you like. I do have a video all about making reusable stencils, and I will link that down below if you guys are interested. We use a very similar type of plastic in that video, and it's a fun one, guys. Go check it out. But the possibilities are endless with this guy, okay? You can make it for all sorts of different projects. For a lot of cards and things, you do need like an overlay, a clear little overlay like acetate and things like that. And little plastic sheets that you can find at the craft store, at the dollar store even, work just as well. So go for the cheaper option, guys, and don't be afraid to cut it. Another thing I'm super excited about showing you all that you guys can cut is duct tape, okay? Don't be afraid to cut duct tape. Now, there are some different procedures on how to lay it on the mat, how to cut it, the tool to use. I would recommend the rotary blade, so with the Cricut Maker, just because with the fine point blade and the deep cut blade, I have noticed a bit of a drag. It likes to drag on that duct tape. But this is a great way. Duct tape's coming out with some really adorable patterns and colors, guys. So definitely go check that out. This would be great to style your room with. You can cut it into little shapes. You can make a very simple duct tape sheet and then cut bigger items out of the sheets you made. Just get crafty with it, guys. This is a good one to get the kids involved, to let them maybe play around in design space, to decorate their room a little bit. That would be a super fun thing to do. But another thing, guys, is aluminum foil. Now, some people are like, why would you ever want to use aluminum foil? Well, it's not really for a craft project as much as it is a great way to sharpen your blade. If you take a sheet, you lay it on your mat, okay, and you cut out 100 circles on a mat, that blade will sharpen up very, very well. It's kind of around the same hack as when you ball up aluminum foil and then you stab your blade with it. It sharpens it up. This is just another technique of that, and I feel like this is a little bit better of a technique too, because you're laying it down. You're not having to take your blade out for any reason. It's doing all the work, So just lay some out on a sheet or on your cutting mat and let it cut for like 15-20 minutes, and then test it with a sheet of paper before and after, and see if you can tell if it has sharpened up any, but I guarantee you it has. And last but not least, guys, fabric, okay? Especially if you have the Cricut Maker and the rotary blade, do not be afraid to want to cut fabric. Now, this is ideal for sewists. I love that the Cricut Maker was basically created for a ton of types of crafters in mind, whether that be DIYers or home decor makers or just straight up card makers, paper crafters, and sewists, okay? So it has a spot for a pen that you can use, a washable Cricut pen to make your registration marks, your little sewing lines, things like that. It's really, really cool. Your seam allowance lines. I think that's what it's called. I'm not a sewist, guys, but I think it's called your little seam allowance lines, I think. But it's so cool, guys. Your rotary blade cuts this like butter, and it's really, really fun to make little projects with this. So just try it out. Try out some fabric, okay? Try a little hand-stitched project if you don't have a sewing machine. But it's always good to, jump out of your comfort zone and try things that you otherwise wouldn't have tried. But guys, that's all I got for you today. I wanted to hone in some that made practical sense. There's a couple other crazy things that I tested and found out that the Cricut could cut, but they just didn't seem very economical or very useful to me. So I rounded it down to the top 10 that I felt would be perfect for you all to use on a daily, weekly basis in your crafting endeavors. So everything from the chipboard to the burlap to the little plastic sheets and duct tape. I hope that you all have enjoyed looking at all of these items that you might not have known your Cricut could cut. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if you would like to see how you can get inspired with your die cutting machine and be the best die cutter that you can be, click that link down below to see all about Maker's Gonna Learn and the amazing membership benefits and all the membership tiers. It's good stuff over there, guys, so go check it out. But I hope you guys have an awesome crafty day. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button for more crafty inspiration like this. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us any comments if you have any questions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.